Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn Chinese with Christine. It's been such a long time. I'm so happy to see you guys again here. Right, so in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to make a Chinese sentence with the correct order. And if you have been learning Chinese for a while, you probably realize that Chinese is actually not a very difficult language to learn because unlike some other languages, in Mandarin, nouns never change the gender and there are no plurals and declensions. And also, verbs never change the conjugations or tense. So if you want to change the tenses, all you need to do is just to add some words in some places in the sentence. But that's the point. Where can you add some time words and how can you make you sound native? Here in this video, I'm going to tell you some conclusion about the placement of time and location. At the same time, I remind you of some common mistakes and I'm sure in the future you'll try your best to avoid them. Right, let's come to the first part. The first part is about the placement of time. Well, actually in Chinese, time words are normally put in the beginning of a sentence or right before a verb. Unlike English, because in English we can put time words in the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. That's the biggest difference. In Chinese, we never put a time word at the end of sentence because in Chinese it will sound very weird. Right, I'm going to give you some examples. The first example, in English, you can say, in January, I went to Hawaii. So here you put the time words in the beginning of the sentence. And in English, you can also say, I went to Hawaii in January. But in Chinese, you can say, 1月我去夏威夷. So here you put 1月 in the beginning of the sentence. And the second way is 我1月去夏威夷. So as you can see, you put the time word before the verb 去. Pay attention to this one. Please don't say 我去夏威夷在1月. So if you say this, apparently people can tell that you're not native. So actually that's understandable because many Chinese learners tend to make mistakes with the time, order and location only by translating the words. This is what we call as literal translation. But in Chinese, try your best not to do it. I'm going to give you some examples. If you say 我有英语课在今天下午或者是今天下午 both wrong. You have to say 我今天下午有英语课. Look, you put 今天下午 right before the verb 有, right? And also, you can also say 今天下午我有英语课. So you put 今天下午 in the beginning of the sentence. That's correct. So just remember that if you want to use some time words, just put them in the beginning of the sentence or before a verb. Right, when it comes to some time words, here I'm going to tell you some duration phrases. For example, 3 years, a month, or 4 hours, they're not actually time words, but the phrases to show the duration of the time. And also, when you talk about the duration, it actually has its own word order rules. Alright, I'm going to give you some examples. The first one, 他在美国住了8年. 他在美国住了8年. So here, 8年, 8 years. This is the duration of time. So here we put 8年 after 住了. Which is different, right? Just like I said, you put time words before a verb. But here, we put the duration of time after a verb. But you can't say that you put all the duration of time right after all the verbs, but some specific verbs. For example, 留, which means to stay. 放, which means to put. And 住, which means to live. 装, which means to pack. 关, which means to be closed. 坐, which means to sit. 站, and it means to stand. 躺, it means to lie. Right after these verbs, you can put the duration of time. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. The first one about 留. 这些菜在冰箱里边留了3天. 这些菜在冰箱里边留了3天. Look, 3天 for 3 days. 留了 to stay, right? After 留了. And the next example. 这些垃圾在门口放了1天. 这些垃圾在门口放了一天 which means the rubbish has been put in front of the door for one day. So for one day, this is the duration of time, and it's put after the verb 放 which means to put. Okay, let's come to the second part of the placement, which is about the placement of location. So after knowing where to put some time words, it'll be very easy for you to figure out where to put some words about places. So the location is placed between time and verb. Right, I'm going to give you some examples. 我昨天在家看电视。我昨天在家看电视。So here, 在家, this is the location. We put the location before the verb, 看, and after the time word, 昨天. So you have to say 我昨天在家看电视. And actually, like I said, the time words can be put in the beginning of the sentence. You can also say 昨天我在家看电视。昨天我在家看电视。So actually you can also say we just put the location before a verb, before the predicate. Pay attention here, the rule of the placement of location actually is quite similar to the placement of duration. Just now I told you some verbs like 留、放、住、装、站, etc. And after these verbs, you can also put some location, not only the duration of time. I'm going to give you some examples. 他们住在巴黎。他们住在巴黎。Look, Paris, this is the location, and you put Paris after 住在, and 住在 it means to live somewhere, to live somewhere. And you can also say, for example, 我把垃圾装在袋子里边。我把垃圾装在袋子里边。So here, 袋子 is a location, a bag. I put the rubbish into a bag, so the bag is the location. 装在, you put the location after 装在. Okay, right, so in conclusion, in this video, I am giving you some rules of where to put a time word or a location in the sentence. So next time when you talk to a Chinese friend, make sure you put the time words or location in a correct place. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you can learn something from here. See you the next time.